Hi, today we're going to talk about the Philadelphia overdose crisis. What you need to know about the overdose crisis. Reported in 2021, Philadelphians have lost a whopping 1,276 people to unintentional fatal overdose. Fentanyl have now been the most popular drug usage, with many mixing xylazine, also known as animal tranquilizer, creating a harmful drug in which people will tend to develop severe wounds that take a long time to heal, while also affecting breathing and complicating the overdose reversal. The overdose crisis is citywide, however, it is predominantly in the Kensington area, with many openly using the drugs on the city streets. Now, who does it affect? It affects two types of people: people who are using the drug and people who are not using the drug. First, I will start off with the people that are using. They have a greater chance of overdosing and sadly dying on the Philly streets, with having to wait their decease for an ambulance. With also a high chance of homelessness, since many doesn't have proper housing due to abusing the drug. There is also an effect of developing wounds in which many people doesn't get proper medical care for, which can then start to spread and create the problem to be worse. There is also a chance of losing touch with families, since the drug is now their main focus. Lastly, there is a higher chance of viewing different crimes on the streets, since many spend all nights and day on the street. Now I'm going to talk about people who are not using the drug. First, it creates an unsafe environment, since there is many old used needles being thrown on the streets, creating a chance to accidentally get pricked by one. Another effect is SEPTA commuters, since there are many drug users around the train entrance that students and people need to take in order to go to school or work, which is causing them to tragically view the event of drug usage. Lastly, it affects the neighborhood pollution, since there are many people throwing trash wherever sees fit. To address Philadelphia's overdose crisis, it involves a combination of strategies such as including prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and policy initiatives. This includes, first, implementing educational programs that raise awareness about the risk of the substance abuse and overdose, especially targeting at-risk populations. Secondly, increasing the availability and affordability of the medication and other forms of substance to use as treatment. Third, providing support service, which include peer support, mental health service, and job training to individuals recovering from substance use disorder. Lastly, in the event of an unfortunate overdose, naloxone, or better known as Narcan, can be administered. Narcan is a medication that reverses opioid overdose by temporarily blocking the effect of opioids. Some may argue that those who engage in substance abuse are responsible and should face the consequences of their own action, to which we respond that addiction is a complex disease that requires professional treatment and support to overcome. Providing access to treatment and harm reduction services can help individuals take responsibility for their health and well-being. Naysayers might also say that resources and energy need to solve the overdose crisis, like funding, could be better spent elsewhere, or that the government cannot afford such initiatives, which we say that investing in a solution to overdose crisis can save lives and reduce the long-term costs associated with untreated addiction. Finally, some people actually simply lack a full grasp of the complexities of addiction and the effectiveness of the treatments in addressing the overdose crisis. To combat this, providing accurate information about addiction, including its biological and physiological components, as well as the effectiveness of treatment programs, can help address misconceptions and incomprehensions to build support support, and solution for those affected. Lastly, here are the sources.